Hey everyone, it's Peter Cole, and in this video I'll be talking about my new platform studio desk made by the company Output. Now, some of you might know Output because they make awesome music software. I own actually all of their, or maybe not all of them, but most of their software libraries, which I use on a regular basis, and there'll be a whole nother video about that. But they also make studio furniture. Anyway, I picked the Output desk for a couple of reasons. One is that when I was doing a little research and seeing what else was out there, I didn't find anything, frankly, that looked as beautiful as this desk. It just is a beautiful looking desk. Natural wood, very, very simple. You'll see that actually the keyboard tray that comes with the Output desk is not perfectly designed for my Native Instruments S88 keyboard, which is a little bit of a bummer. As a result, I can't actually push it under the desk. It has to stay out. So you should be aware of that. If you own one of these big keyboards, it might not fit on the keyboard tray that comes with the Output desk. And Output actually recommends a couple of ways around that. You can actually take the keyboard, put it on top of the desk, and then use the tray for the keyboard monitor and mouse, which would actually be pretty beneficial to me. Some things I'm not wild about, in addition to the keyboard tray not really working for my keyboard, my personal keyboard, the distance between the desk and the computer monitors is a little far for me. And I imagine, see, basically from here to actually get my knobs is a little bit of a reach. Maybe I'm being too spoiled here. But because the keyboard sticks out and I can't push it in, those items over there are a bit far. And I wish there was some way, obviously I wish that the keyboard would slide in, but that's not going to work. But I wish there was some way to adjust this distance, because I don't really need all this workspace. However, it really depends on what you're going to use the desk for. You might not have a keyboard this big. You might have a small keyboard that fits perfectly on the tray. You can slide it out of the way. I mean, that would be ideal. You also might not even want the keyboard tray at all, and then having a big fat desk up here with a lot of space would be ideal for you. So it really depends on how you work and what you're looking for. As you can see, I do have the Apollo Twin interface really close to how I work. This is awesome. So I could be working here and I just reach up here, I can control volume and my monitor settings. The cables fit perfectly down in the holes. Another great thing about this desk, which you'll see in the video in a minute when I actually put it together, is the cabling system in the back. It's basically a way of managing all the cables and keeping them out of sight. It's freaking fantastic. Initially, when I set it up and I was building the desk, which again you'll see in a moment, I was thinking, how is this going to work? Like, how is this going to help? I just didn't really think it was that big a deal. But after setting it up and then setting up the rest of my equipment and using the cable system they have, it's unbelievable. Like, I don't know if you can tell from the video, but when I'm working, I don't see any cables anymore. There's a couple of my monitors hanging down, which will eventually get covered up when I finish filling in my racks with rack mount gear. But believe me, compared to what I had before, this is fantastic. So I love the cabling system. Anyway, let's jump into the unboxing and the setup of the Platform Studio Desk. The Platform desk is delivered in 2 separate boxes. And if you get the keyboard tray like I did, that will come in a 3rd box. After I opened the boxes, I found the user guide, which was extremely straightforward and easy to use. I usually hate instructions, but this one allowed me to get to work right away. First thing I do is I do an inventory check, make sure I got everything I need, all my tools, all the pieces are there. Then we go on, we put together the desk legs, which are these really angular looking, funny looking things that don't look like legs, but they eventually are legs. That stands up kind of the base of the desk, and what you're looking at here is actually part of the cabling system that I talked about earlier in the video. It doesn't look like it would really do much, but it's extremely valuable once you get it to working. Then I make the keyboard tray, which was probably the hardest part actually. Is this gadget right here, which helps you slide the tray in and out, obviously, was a little bit tricky. but I eventually got it to work. You have these metal sliders you see here, and you take them apart. You put one half onto the keyboard tray, the other half onto these wings that are then attached to the desk itself. And then the final step is you attach the keyboard back onto the main part of the desk, and then the main part of the desk then gets attached onto the legs, and voila, there we go. We have a finished platform desk. And then the fun part, adding all the toys to the desk. As I mentioned earlier in the video, my Native Instruments Complete Control S88 keyboard is just a tad too big for the keyboard tray in that I can't slide it under the desk, so it's kind of permanently out all the time. Which in my case is not necessarily a bad thing because I have my keyboard out all the time. I use it all day long. It's the center of my studio. So for me, it's not the end of the world. I do wish I could slide it under the desk. That would be nice. So if you're looking into the platform desk and you have one of these big keyboards like the S88 here, you want to check their website and make sure that it's going to be supported by the keyboard tray, or just be aware that you might not be able to slide it under the desk. I've only started to put in the rack gear. To be honest, I don't have a lot of outboard rack gear, so that's why that looks a little barren right there. I have my Furman power supply, as well as some preamps and compressors. However, they're not even plugged in at the moment. They're mostly there for looks, but eventually I'll fill out the rack spaces a little more. And then my computer monitors up on the top there are my old Dell computer monitors I bought like 10, maybe even 15 years ago. I don't know how long I've had those things. If you look down under the desk, you see no wires, right? Except for the little cord for the sustain pedal for the keyboard. This is a miracle. I've never had such a clean, cord-free environment in my life, and it's because of the cabling system that comes with the platform desk. So I've been really happy with the desk so far. It looks awesome. It's not too big for my space. I don't have a really big room, so that's another thing to be mindful of. You want a nice compact desk, I think, if you are in a smaller room like myself. The only issue that I really have been calling out is, in my case, and this is just for me because I have that big keyboard, I'm not able to slide it under the desk. However, it's still a very strong keyboard tray that works really well for my workflow. So that's it for now. If you have any questions, be sure to leave them in the comments below, and I will see you next time.